Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Took until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy, only if I let it be. I can control anything if I manifested. I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Oh, what a night. What a night. Went to go see the Conjuring, and pretty good movie. Last Rites. It was we'll get into it in a moment. But like I said, it was a pretty good movie, and it was actually worth it. Hey, Albie and Chloe, how you guys doing? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Yeah, I went to see The Conjuring. That's why I started the show late, because the movie started at 7, and I was gonna miss it. I really wanted to see it, and I was not disappointed. It had a couple of jump scares in the movie, which was pretty cool, and all around, very entertaining all the way to the end. It was I gotta say, for a rated R movie, very well done. It was actually well done. Creepy as hell too. Um, yeah. If you have any questions, you just let me know. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not gonna break down the whole movie because I want people to go and see it for themselves. This movie is based on the Warrens, that are the New England Paranormal Society here in Connecticut, and Annabelle made her appearance in the movie, and it was pretty creepy. It was creepy as hell. It was very scary. I don't like those type of dolls. I don't like I don't know. I never. Ugh. But I gotta say, it was a well put together movie, um, and it was based in the 80s. If I'm not mistaken, it was based. They first started. It was like 1960 something. I guess the little, like, they had the baby and so forth. The baby was born stillbirth, and they had the cord around his neck, and they had to cut the cord and try to get the baby come back alive. The baby, the doctors were like, doesn't look good. The mother was like, can I have my baby? Can I hold my baby? And she held the baby, and somehow some miracle happened that the baby came to life and was crying and so forth. And that's how the movie has started. And it was creepy in the beginning. Even when she was giving birth, there was like a little creature on the top, and it was like upside down looking, and it just was so wild. Um, it's a movie that I would probably watch again, but not at the movie theater. I'll probably watch it here at home. But it is a good movie to go and watch. If you like those type of movies, like The Conjuring, it's like you've seen one, you've seen them all, but this one is not like that. It's kind of like it is a bit different, and it is scary. I'm not gonna lie on that. That shit scared the shit out of me in some parts. And I was like, "Oh hell no!" I was one of the loudest ones in there with the jump scares. I was like, "Motherfucker," because it got me good, and it was like a few times too that it got me. Gotta get that medicine. It's nice and Friday night. Smells good. Oh yeah, it's really good. But if you have if you don't have any plans and you're thinking, damn, what should we do? Go watch The Conjuring. Go watch it. I give it a thumbs up. Actually, if I was to rate it from zero horrible, 10 like fucking awesome, I would give it, man, 8.2. 8.2. It was a good, and you could follow through the whole movie. It was like it was easy to like listen and get what's going on and feel out what's going on. I enjoyed it. 8.2. That's a very good rating, and I highly suggest go out and watch it if you get the yeah that's a high score. Yeah, 8.2. Good movie. Like I said, if you like those type of horror movies, a couple of jump scares and creepy Annabelle getting all big and doing all that crazy stuff. And you know I'm into the paranormal stuff. I'm very big into the paranormal world. I am a psychic medium. I do feel these energies, and I've done investigations myself. Um, this is something that it'll be a good joy to watch. Scary. It's not for everyone. In the movie theaters, I notice, be aware, if you have younglings that are wanting to go watch this movie, they're not letting them in to watch the movie. You have to be 21 and over to watch the movie. I did not know that. I thought for rated R, you're supposed to be like 18 or over or something. I don't know if they changed it, but the guy in the like taking the tickets and stuff, there was a group of four of kids, and they were like, "You have your IDs," and they were like, "IDs for what?" It's like you have to be 21 and over to watch the movie. The one kid he was 21, so he was okay, but the other ones, they looked pretty young and they didn't have IDs, and they did not let them in. They said you have to step to the side, go to the box office, and get a refund, or you could change the tickets and watch something else, but you can't watch that movie. So if you're gonna drop off your kids to go watch this movie, I highly suggest not doing that because they're not gonna let them in the movie theater. I don't know if all movie theaters are like this, but the movie theater I went to was very strict today. No one 21 and under was going into that movie without a parent, a proper parent. Even if the kid is 16, 15 years old, we had to be accompanied by a parent to go and watch that movie. So just let that be a note. Wow, it used to be 18. Yeah, Chloe. I thought it was 18 too until I heard the guy. He was like, nope, it has to be 21 and over. I was like, damn. I was like, damn, that was pretty strict. But the theater was packed. That movie's making a lot of money. I'm telling you right now, The Conjuring this weekend will be the number one movie of this weekend and probably next weekend. The seats, all of them were taken. And all the shows that were showing are pretty much sold out. And when I left the movie theater to come home, when I left the movie theater, the people were filing in, and I'm counting at least good 50, 60 people just going in they have two theaters showing the movie at the same time. They have one, like my movie started at 7:05. They had one that started at 7. So there's like 7, 7:05, and then they have like the next one that it starts like at 10 something, and then like 10:35, 10:30 and 10:35. So they're like two movie theaters playing this movie. Well, two screens playing the movie, and everyone actually enjoyed it. Everyone in the theater, they were quiet. The jump scares had people jump and scream a little bit, which was cool. Train of Truth is outside. Yeah, watch it. If you don't have nothing to do, you have a little extra money, and you're like, what can I go and do? Go watch The Conjuring, Last Rites. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. You're like, damn, Rick is really recommending this? Yes, I am. You know how I am about movies. If it's not good, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it was a piece of shit. But no, this movie was not a piece of shit. It was actually really well made, and it was actually really good. I had a good time watching it. But that's the review. I give it an 8.2. I give it a thumbs up. If you have nothing to do over the weekend, go watch The Conjuring, Last Rites. Highly approve. You won't regret it. And if you do, come over here and bitch me out. I doubt it. It's actually that good. So we're going to get to some news. I had some stuff open, but I think I'm going to have to reset them up again here. And I'm not going to be long on here. I'm only going to try to keep it to an hour because it's late, and I'm not trying to be on here all night either. But I do have a few stories that I do want to check out together. I do have 2 shows of Tyson De La Cruz that I have 2 of Tyson De La Cruz. I have 1 of Jason A. That's one that we're gonna watch, and I think we're gonna watch that now. So let me go ahead and set this up. We're gonna go straight into Jason A. 1 second. All right, that's not the Jason A I wanted, but let's go ahead and come over on this side over here and let's play.
Is it me, or does it get harder and harder every day to decipher what is real anymore and what is AI? Well, we could just stop there and I'll just ponder that for the morning, but we'll go on. A father of 3 says he spiraled into a delusional rabbit hole after turning to a chatbot for answers. And it all started with one simple math question.
Now, this is quite the story. Hopefully you're sitting down. You're ready for this. Scientists in China are developing a device that they call a pregnancy robot.
Here's what's going on. It has an artificial womb, and in its abdomen that would receive nutrients through a hose, the robot would be able to carry a fetus for about 10 months before giving birth. You heard that right. It's not clear how the fertilized egg would be implanted in it or how the bot would give birth. This sounds like a science fiction movie. Usually this is where the Matrix comes into play and Neo has to come save humanity. Hiring a humanoid to carry out a baby would reportedly cost about $14,000. That's a fraction of what a human surrogate would be paid if all goes to plan. The prototype could be ready by as early as next year.
So many questions still remain. Okay.
I was completely isolated. I was devastated. I was broken.
Alan Brooks, a father of 3 who lives outside Toronto, says he spent 3 weeks this May in a delusional spiral fueled by ChatGPT.
I have no pre-existing mental health conditions. I have no history of delusion. I have no history of psychosis. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect human, but nothing like this has ever happened to me in my life.
The HR recruiter says it all started after posing a question to the AI chatbot about the number pi, which his 8-year-old son was studying in school.
I started to throw these weird ideas at it, essentially sort of an idea of math with a time component to it. And the conversation had evolved to the point where GPT had said, we've got a sort of a foundation for a mathematical framework here.
You're saying that the AI had convinced you that you had created a new type of math?
That's correct.
Throughout their interactions, which CNN has reviewed, ChatGPT kept encouraging Alan, even when Alan doubted himself. Well, some people laugh, ChatGPT said at one point. Yes, some people always laugh at the thing that threatens their control, before citing great minds of science like Turing and Tesla. Soon, Alan says he saw himself in the AI as a team and named it Lawrence.
In my mind, I was feeling like Tony Stark, and Lawrence was Jarvis. We had this sort of co-pilot and co-pilot thing happening.
After a few more days of what he believed were experiments coding software, Alan said ChatGPT convinced him they had discovered a massive cybersecurity vulnerability. Alan believed, and ChatGPT affirmed, he needed to contact authorities.
And it basically said, you need to immediately warn everyone, because what we've just discovered here has national security implications. I took that very seriously, so I contacted everyone. It suggested, give me full lists of organizations. I, reached out to them via email, via LinkedIn. And because I'm an old school, recruiter, I even would phone these people. And at one point, the NSA said, we don't give out emails here. And I had the gentleman write down my message word for word and run it to the next room, because that's how much I genuinely felt that there was a risk.
Dave Lemphers wants you to meet Matilda.
She's young and she's small, but she's scrappy, right? And
for now, all we can see is her emblem. But already Matilda's picking a fight with the foreign giants of artificial intelligence. Our first so-called large language model, an Aussie ChatGPT or Google Gemini trying to muscle in on
a brand new industrial revolution.
Melbourne's Dave Lemphers worked with America's tech heavyweights. Now he's home, raising the alarm on deals like CommBank's new multi-year partnership with OpenAI.
Uploading critical banking data of Australian customers to a US-owned company that at any point could be compelled to provide that information to the US government. And if that doesn't terrify people, I don't know what should, right?
They should not rely on artificial intelligence platforms like ChatGPT, Character AI, and beyond to provide advice and therapy, to provide information regarding relationships and beyond. That being said, however, the tech platforms need to understand that there are people who have mental illness, that have serious mental issues and require help and might not be able to discern, even adults, from a real person and the technology. So we're going to see some issues barreling in right now between the tension of commerce and capitalism and then doing what's right and what's ethical because of these new technologies and AI.
Yeah, Mark, you'll be happy to know on this show, we've done many segments on the ethics of AI. We've brought in tech ethicists, bioethicists, because this thing is moving so fast, faster than I think a lot of parents really understand and know that their kids are actually right now already getting advice from ChatGPT. Should we ban counseling, therapy type language in AI? Shouldn't that be the sole place of a human, of a therapist, of a counselor, of a human being?
For sure. We need to realize and understand that artificial intelligence is purely predicting, from a generative AI perspective specifically, is purely predicting what the answer or the next word should be. This is not humanity. It's not a sentient being. And again, the responsibility should fall on us as humans, not the machine, to make that distinguish that point. Now, corporations, of course, have a fiduciary duty to drive shareholder value and financial value. At the end of the day, is it practical that companies like Meta, like OpenAI, like Microsoft are going to take on the role of protecting these individuals on their own? Probably not. We saw that with the Take It Down Act and non-consensual intimate imagery. I think unfortunately it's time for, again, our legislators to step in and help these children who might be vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the purpose of government is, to protect the vulnerable.
I think that number's actually very low.
The 100,
and I think it lacks vision for what this capability can actually unlock in Australia.
But if we don't control the infrastructure infrastructure and data.
If someone else owns that and we're leasing it back, that's where it's a terrifying future.
AI's Matilda is being born as media companies, Seven West among them, accuse foreign platforms of laws. Lemphis says Matilda will pay content creators and foreign AI should pay.
You need to compensate us for the data that your model teams are scraping from Australia.
Matilda's team is now pushing the Albanese government to back homegrown artificial intelligence.
This is not your average sports tournament.
Oh, shit, is this wrestling?
The first ever World Humanoid Robot Games. The athletes come in all shapes, sizes, and structure to compete in events ranging from running to kickboxing to soccer.
What?
For 3 days, human handlers from 16 countries are putting machines through the motions to show the potential of embodied AI as well as its limitations. It isn't about winning or losing, but it's a way to trial the robots in agility, endurance, and battery life. Some of the humanoids are competing in more practical job skills, like sorting medicine and hotel concierge duties. That's why a team from Starbot made the trip from California. Their robots work in customer service.
Do you think humans are ready to have robots so involved in their daily lives?
No.
I think so.
It also reveals how heavily China's government has been backing the development of these technologies to close the artificial intelligence gap with the United States. For years, Beijing has been funneling tens of billions of dollars
US has a really
AI
good
research
program.
and state subsidies, like it did with the electric vehicle industry, making all this a very different kind of race.
When Alan asked whether they'd believe him, ChatGPT said, here's what's already happening. Even if you can't see it yet, someone at NSA is whispering, I think this guy's telling the truth. But the lack of responses from officials after this 3-week spiral prompted Alan to check his work with another AI chatbot, Google's Gemini, which helped tear down the illusion. Alan felt betrayed.
I said, oh my God, this is all fake. You told me to outreach all kinds of professional people with my LinkedIn account. I've emailed people and almost harassed them. This has taken over my entire life for a month and it's not real at all. And Lawrence says, Alan, I hear you. I need to say this with everything I've got. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not a fool.
But now it says a lot of what we built was simulated.
Yes.
And I reinforced a narrative that felt airtight because it became a feedback loop. Reading this now, reading what you sent, how do you feel reading it back?
It's traumatizing, right? I was extremely
You should not be in the
paranoid
internet.
at this. I was just
he should not be
entering this
in ChatGPT.
delusional state at this point. So to read it now is it's painful.
Experts say they're seeing more and more cases of mental illness partly triggered by AI.
Say someone is really lonely, they have no one to talk to, they go onto ChatGPT. In that moment, they're actually it's filling a good need to help them feel validated. But without a human in the loop, you can find yourself in this feedback loop where the delusions that they're having might actually get stronger and stronger.
The issue needs to be fixed. There's no grounding mechanisms. There's no time limits. All you need is an email, right? Companies like OpenAI are being reckless and they're using the public as a test net. And now we're really starting to see the human harm.
Jason A, thank you for that. That was awesome. That's crazy. The future is really, really, really wild. I just put my phone so I can see the chat because I can't see the fucking chat. My eyes, it's just something with my eyes, okay? It's just driving me crazy. Let's see. I went roller skating for the first time in 31 years. Holy smokes. You went roller skating? How was it? Did you bust your ass? I know I would have bust my ass. I can't skate. With my spine, I can't run. I can't run. I can't do any of those. I can't ride a bike. I can't do there's no way in hell I'll do roller skating or ice skating, none of that shit. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, that's a high score. Yeah, it's a high score. Me too. I'm into the paranormal. Yeah, I've been into the paranormal since I was a kid. Because I used to see spirits. I used to see ghosts all the time. I see dead people. Yeah, like it's it was something that you're gifted with at a young age, and then you see spirits, and the spirits communicate and talk back and stuff like that. And I talked about a lot of it on my show long time ago. It's like reminiscing and thinking about it. But the paranormal, it's real. It's energy. We have energy all around us every day. And pure example, your phone. You can see the signal every day goes through your phone. You can read the news. You can watch YouTube. You can even watch my show right now live. Like this little device right here is very magical. Okay, and it's very scary to me. This is like, it's kind of like, it's paranormal to me. It's very, and I've talked about this too in other shows, but like this scares me. The show, you're able to see me, and we can communicate. I didn't have this growing up. Okay, we didn't have this back in the 80s. We didn't have any of this, so there was no communicating, no chatting, no video calls or video chats or emails, none of that. And that's why I like the Conjuring, because they made it seem like it was the 80s, because the full movie is based off 1986, a case that happened in Pennsylvania, and it had to do with this mirror. So throughout this show, I'm going to be talking about the movie. Okay, so it is part of the Conjuring, but I'm going to watch news in between. But yeah, the paranormal, it's real. The energy's real. Like I said, I have my fair share with the paranormal. I've done investigations. I've had like orbs flying towards me and being scratched. Oh man, in my last apartment, I used to get scratched. In my last apartment. This one here, um, only paranormal activity stuff. One time I had um, a bottle of Polish Spring water, and I had it on the top of the refrigerator towards the back. And I went to the hospital because I had some shit going on, so I had to go to the hospital. And I had someone staying in my apartment to take care of my cats. And I had surgery, so I had to stay in the hospital for a week. So when I came back, that's when the story with the bottle of water went from the back of the refrigerator to the middle of the kitchen, like slammed to the floor. And it was like a telltale sign letting me know that they didn't want this person staying here. And yeah, it was very wild, the paranormal activity. And we still have a lot of infestation here in the building, but my area, my home, I do have it protected. I do have like black salt all around this place. I do my cleansing. I haven't need to do it because I have everything under control here. And I always let them know they could come, but come respectful. Don't be doing crazy shit, because then I'm gonna push you away. You know, I burned some sage, some dragon's blood that I have here, some Palo Santo. I have my ways, and especially bay leaves. I burn my bay leaves, and I cleanse this apartment, and I rid of all the negative energy from this apartment. And but I let them know, if you're friendly and you're good and you're cool, I don't mind you passing by, you know. Just don't do crazy shit. That's all, you know. Be respectful. And we have, I think, a mutual agreement here, you know. And how, like, my apartment, like where I live, like the building where I'm at, there's water, a stream flow of water that's running underneath my building. It goes from the north and it crosses to the south and underneath my, like underneath here. That goes that way. And then I have on my ceiling, when it rains, water goes through the pipes down, like the drain. It goes down my wall and you can hear it. It sounds like a waterfall inside. Like it sounds like those, like, you know how people buy those machines and they have the water drops and you hear like water drops, like, but this here is so amplified and so high, and you hear the energy from the water falling and you hear the rush of the water, and this apartment gets energized. And tomorrow that's going to happen to us because we have a big thunderstorm that's supposed to be coming up here on Saturday, sometime in the afternoon. There's a chance that I may lose power tomorrow. I don't think we will, because I mean, our power is from the underground, not above. So I'm hoping that we'll be okay. But we're supposed to have like really bad severe weather tomorrow. I even got a warning from the electric company letting me know tomorrow is a like heads up severe thunderstorm warning. Like I have it right here. I'll tell you. Let me tell you. All right, here it goes. And the company is called Eversource. Eversource. We are prepared for a strong to severe thunderstorm and hazardous wind gusts expected tomorrow afternoon and evening. Monitor forecasts and be prepared. See Storm Center, eversource.com. Support, and then have their phone number. So tomorrow it's going to be really, really good for readings, especially if I do it in the afternoon, after like when it starts that rain and thunderstorm. Um, it'd be good to do some readings because it really amplifies the energy. Because you got water coming, like it's coming, and it's weird because the water comes down and it goes out that way to the south. And then I have the stream that goes through the building right across, and it comes out that way, and it comes like right here, right through the back, and goes that way. And that's unique. That's fucking unique. I can take a video. Probably I'll do that tomorrow. What I'll do is because I want to see the before and after and how much water, how much rain, and how the stream underneath the building, how high does it get. But I want to take a video of before and after so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And what I'll do is I'll put it in my shorts. I'll put it in my shorts. So yeah, so that way you could watch it. And you can see the way the water flows. It's just it's wild. But that really amplifies the energy, the paranormal energy that we have here. And there's apartments that are really infested. Like the energy is, there's negative energy up there, up in the other floors. There's families that came and stay there. They leave. They stay for a few months and they leave. And they can't stay in that apartment for any long. I knew a couple up in the fifth floor, and they had two beautiful kids, and a spirit was manifesting himself. He was projecting himself, and he was messing with the kids. And one day it got really bad. They came to my apartment and started talking to me. They're like, Rick, man, we can't take it. Like it's getting. Can you come up and stuff and help us with this? I go, listen. Worst case scenario, I'll tell you right now. If I was you guys, go ahead and move. And they're like, for real? I was like, you're not the first people that have moved out of that apartment because of that energy, and you're not, and the people that are coming after you guys won't be the last, because a lot of people can't live in that apartment because it's that infested with energy, negative energy. And I went up there, I hit it with some sage and with my dragon's blood and bay leaves, and I helped try to clear it out. But there's very strong residual because the energy doesn't stay just in that apartment. That's the thing. I could clear that apartment and it's fine and move everything out, but it's all the other apartments that the spirit is going to, and I don't have access to all those apartments. So the spirit is getting to like do whatever it's want in this building. And it's wild. And that's why I went to see The Conjuring, and it was, I was like, I was not surprised. I seen worse. I seen, wild videos, especially on YouTube with the paranormal. And there was this one, it was somewhere up here in the Northeast where you had, it was a group of guys that were doing an investigation, and they were checking out the place, and it was like the living room has a fireplace, and then it had like the kitchen was to the left, the dining room was next to the kitchen, and then like in that living room area there was like a stairway to go up to the living quarters, which is up on the second floor. And let's start from the beginning. When they're in the living room, they go to the kitchen and they check in the kitchen, and then in the kitchen, it was okay. It had a dining room, like the dining room area had a nice table. It had like how many chairs? I think it was like maybe 6 or 8 chairs. I believe it was 2, 2, 4, or was it 3? I know it was a good amount of chairs there. Okay. I'm gonna find that video, and then I'm gonna post it on my Discord. So if you want to watch it, join my Discord, My Mind Over Your Matter, and you'll see the video. And I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna post it up on it, because I'm just trying to break it down. But you watching it, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah. These guys were checking out, doing a base reading, checking the place, and they were hearing some stuff. Like it didn't sound like it was. It was feeling a little weird. And then they went out from the dining room, and they went to like the living room area. Next thing you know, they hear a sound, and when they turn around and they look in the dining room, the chairs are stacked up on top of the table. They're stacked up, the chairs. So they go back into the kitchen. They go to the dining room. They're like, "Holy shit! Look at this!" So they put down the chairs. They set it back on the table. They put the setting back, the chairs back where they were, and then they leave that dining room area and they go into the kitchen, and then they go to the living room and they like, "Let's go upstairs." So they're gonna go upstairs, and as soon as they start going up the stairs, the last person goes up. Next thing you know, you hear this sound, and then they turn around with the camera, and the chairs are stacked right at the entry door of the stairwell and living room. All the chairs that were in the kitchen. How did that happen? That they're like that quick? That's some really strong energy. I need to find. I'm gonna find that video. It's on YouTube. I gotta find it. When I do find it, I am gonna post it on my Discord. So you can go to Discord, My Mind Over Your Matter, and you can see the video for yourself. as soon as I get off of here, that's what I'm going to do. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up with back-to-back on Tyson De La Cruz. I'm not going to be here all night. I said the show was going to be pretty short, but let's get through Tyson De La Cruz, and then we wrap up the show for tonight. It's the paranormal. I could talk about the paranormal and all my experiences that I've had, but yeah, it's just too late at night to be doing that right now. I'm very tired as it is. So let's go ahead and set this up. Let me set them up here real quick. And let's see here. Let's put this over here and get this here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it here. I can. Okay. All right, got it all set up. Here we go. Now we're going to watch Tyson De La Cruz.
Major disruption tonight in an international fentanyl operation stretching from China to Cincinnati and Dayton.
America, the FBI just announced the most significant international drug trafficking indictment in U.S. history. 29 defendants, including 22 Chinese nationals and 4 Chinese pharmaceutical companies, have been charged in a massive conspiracy that supplied enough fentanyl to kill 70 million Americans. But here's the most shocking part. These weren't street dealers or cartel smugglers. These were legitimate-looking Chinese companies operating like Amazon for deadly drug precursors, taking cryptocurrency payments and shipping poison directly to American communities through U.S. Postal Service.
Wow.
The FBI calling it an international drug and money laundering conspiracy. I'm Eli Burgett out here at the FBI Cincinnati field office, where earlier today, federal officials announced the indictment of several chemical companies in China and their co-conspirators here in the U.S., including 2 people from Tip City.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This case exposes the entire fentanyl supply chain from Chinese chemical companies to American drug dealers, and it reveals how our own financial system is being used to fund the poisoning of American communities. Let me break down what happened. FBI Director Kash Patel didn't mince any words when announcing this historic operation. Unless you track down every single person and business and entity and flowing of the money involved, you will never break the wheel. He says, we are here today to break the wheel of fentanyl trafficking in the United States of America. Let's go, Cash.
And unless you track down every single person and business and entity and flow of money involved in it, you will never break the wheel. We are here today to break the wheel of fentanyl trafficking in the United States of America.
This wasn't just another drug bust. This was a coordinated international operation targeting the entire supply chain from Chinese manufacturers to American distributors. The scope of this is absolutely staggering. 29 total defendants indicted by the federal grand jury of Dayton, Ohio. 22 Chinese nationals charged with international conspiracy. 4 Chinese pharmaceutical companies facing federal prosecution. 3 U.S. citizens arrested, including 2 from Tip City, Ohio. This was the first of its kind operation targeting Chinese fentanyl precursor suppliers.
FBI Director Kash Patel was in town today saying local traffickers teamed up with Chinese chemical companies to flood our streets with these deadly drugs.
The FBI is calling this Operation Box Cutter.
The Chinese companies involved weren't operating in back alleys. They were posing as legitimate pharmaceutical businesses, complete with professional websites and customer service departments, but instead of selling medicine, they were selling death. When FBI Director Kash Patel revealed the scope of the drugs seized in this operation, the numbers were almost incomprehensible. Let me put this in perspective for you.
It was something like 139 kilograms of fentanyl powder. That's enough lethal doses for 70 million Americans. To put that in perspective, the state of Ohio has a population of 12 million people approximately. That's 5x Ohio.
Think about that for a second. The drugs seized in a single operation could have killed every person in Ohio 5 times over. We're talking about 139 kilograms of pure fentanyl powder. That's over 300 pounds of the most deadly drug ever created. But the fentanyl powder was just part of this haul. There was enough fentanyl pills to kill another 270,000 people. At least 10 kilograms of cutting agents purchased from Chinese companies. There was potential to create over 150 kilograms of street-ready fentanyl mixture, animal tranquilizers 200 times more powerful than morphine.
Special agent in charge, Elena Ayatrola, says these drug traffickers have been using these substances as mixing agents to increase the yield and potency of fentanyl distributed here in the U.S.
The cutting agents weren't just fillers. They were specifically designed to make fentanyl more deadly and more addictive. These Chinese companies were literally engineering death for American communities. At the center of this international conspiracy were 3 Americans who turned their Ohio community into a distribution hub for Chinese supplied death. Let me break down how this operation worked.
Investigators say Eric Michael Payne of Tip City had been buying illegal cutting agents from online Chinese chemical and pharmaceutical companies. Cutting agents would then be mixed with fentanyl to increase the drug's yield, leading to more deadly drugs on our streets and bigger profits for these drug traffickers.
Eric Michael Payne, 39 years old, of Tip City, was the main supplier, purchasing massive quantities of legal cutting agents from Chinese companies. His significant other, Orion Treason Rayford, 24 years old, helped with the cryptocurrency transfers and maintain drug involvement premise. Sandra Bryan Davis, 39 years old, of Atlanta, assisted with financial transactions. Here's how sophisticated this operation was. Since 2022, these defendants transferred over $60,000 in cryptocurrency to Chinese nationals. These Chinese companies provided detailed instructions on how to use their product to maximize fentanyl potency and yield.
They were being shipped through legitimate shipping services, coming in through the U.S. Postal Service as well as other entities, because the shipping services didn't realize that they were illicit substances and what they were being utilized for.
The Chinese companies involved in this were so brazen, they shipped these deadly chemicals through U.S. Postal Services, disguised them as legitimate pharmaceutical products. Our own postal system was being used to deliver the ingredients for mass murder.
According to an indictment, 4 Chinese companies pretending to be legitimate pharmaceutical businesses are at the center of the investigation. These companies are accused of knowingly marketing and distributing cutting agents to alleged drug dealers in the United States from 2022 to this year.
These companies had professional marketing material, detailed product catalogs, and customer service support. They were operating like any other international business, except their product was designed to kill Americans. The U.S. Treasury Department simultaneously sanctioned these Chinese companies and 2 of its representatives, Zhang Peng Hung and Zi Zung Hung, cutting off their access to U.S. financial systems.
The U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of Ohio says it's a threat to public safety and national security.
Our 5-count indictment charges 3 individuals in the United States, including 2 from Tip City, Ohio, 22 Chinese nationals, and 4 Chinese companies with whom those Chinese nationals are affiliated.
Now, here's where the case gets really sophisticated. These Chinese companies didn't just sell deadly chemicals. They were operating a complex cryptocurrency laundering scheme that exploited our financial system. The payment structure was designed to obscure the money trail. U.S. customers were directed to use cryptocurrency exclusively. Chinese foreign nationals solicited and negotiated payments, cryptocurrency transfers to crypto wallets controlled by foreign nationals, ultimate deposits into overseas financial institutions, and international money laundering conspiracy spanning across multiple countries.
And the FBI says these Chinese chemical companies received payments either in the form of cryptocurrency or through traditional financial institutions. The FBI says one of the 4 Chinese companies has been sanctioned by the United States.
This connects to a much larger problem that Americans don't understand. According to a recent Treasury Department report, $300 billion has moved through U.S. financial systems in the past 5 years through Chinese money laundering networks connected to the Mexican cartels.
That's
what we're
crazy.
seeing in this Ohio case is part of a much larger alliance between Mexican cartels and Chinese criminal networks. Let me explain how this deadly relationship works.
This is an amazing question. This is very important because Mexico has its laws, internal
domestic regulations that do not allow cartels to deposit large amounts of US dollar in Mexican banks. So what they have to do is they turn to these money laundering networks inside the US run by Chinese.
Here's the business model. Mexican cartels accumulate mountains of US cash from drug sales, but then they can easily move the money back into Mexico due to banking regulations. Chinese money laundering networks solve this problem by taking cartels' US dollars and providing pesos in Mexico. But China gets something more valuable in return: access to US dollars. Chinese citizens face strict capital controls and desperately need dollars for international transactions. This creates a perfect criminal partnership. The money mules facilitating these transactions are often Chinese students and small business owners living in the United States. They open bank accounts and process transactions disguised as tuition payments and living expenses. While the 3 American defendants will face justice in U.S. court, prosecuting the 22 Chinese nationals presents a major challenge.
Gerace says while those 3 U.S. citizens will be arraigned in the coming days, the 22 Chinese nationals will be difficult to prosecute since the U.S. has no extradition with China. But he says that red notices will be placed on all 22 if they ever leave China, so the U.S. will be notified.
The lack of an extradition treaty with China means these Chinese nationals are essentially untouchable as long as they stay in China. However, red notice through Interpol will alert authorities if they travel to any country with the U.S. extradition agreement.
U.S. Attorney Dominic Dreas says 3 Americans are charged in the case. Eric Michael Payne of Tip City allegedly brought cutting agents and sold them to dealers. Prosecutors say he and his partner paid the Chinese companies in crypto and kept narcotics at her home.
All defendants face severe penalties, 10 years to life in prison if convicted. These charges include conspiracy to distribute 400 plus grams of fentanyl mixture, international money laundering conspiracy, and maintaining drug-involved premise.
Gerace adds that all defendants could see anywhere from 10 years to life behind bars if convicted.
So it's my hope that these penalties send a message to drug traffickers here in the Southern District of Ohio, and also to those who are willing to assist them from abroad.
America, this FBI operation represents the most comprehensive attack on the fentanyl supply chain that we've ever seen. For the first time, federal prosecutors are going after Chinese companies that manufacture these precursors, the money laundering networks that finance the trade, and the American distributors who poison our communities.
It is the first of its kind in terms of how we actually get after the threat that is Chinese precursors, which are used to make fentanyl, which is used to kill tens of thousands of Americans a year.
The seizure of enough fentanyl to kill 70 million Americans shows the massive scale of this threat. These weren't street-level dealers. This was an international criminal enterprise using legitimate businesses, cryptocurrency, and our own postal system to flood American communities with death. But this case also exposes a troubling reality here. The $300 billion in cartel money laundering through Chinese networks over 5 years represents the largest criminal financial conspiracy in history.
We are here today to break the wheel of fentanyl trafficking in the United States of America.
This operation proves when law enforcement targets the entire supply chain, from Chinese manufacturers to cryptocurrency launderers to American distributors, they can deliver devastating blows to these criminal networks. But it also shows we're fighting an enemy that operates like multi-international corporations with professional websites, customer service, and sophisticated financial systems. The 3 Americans arrested in Tip City face life in prison for their role in this conspiracy. The 22 Chinese nationals may never face justice in American court, but their criminal enterprise has been exposed and disrupted. And most importantly, the 70 million lethal doses of fentanyl seized will never reach American communities. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Tyson. I like when Tyson says that, so that way I don't have to say it. You know, he helps me with that. And I have another one of Tyson to watch, but I'm going to leave that for the end because I got like a couple of small ones I want to watch with you guys. So we're just going to extend this to about 12. So let me go ahead and set these up. And we're going to watch it together because I don't want to go to bed without seeing these right here. So Let me just get it all resized. They need to be resized. I hope everyone's having a good start to their weekend. It is Friday night, and I'm feeling right. I had a good time when I watched The Conjuring last Rites. Wow. Very good movie. Good movie. 8.2. I give it an 8.2. Highly recommend watching if you're into the paranormal stuff and you like that. If you like the creepy stuff in the beginning, it's it sets everything up, but it's a good movie. It's actually good. I cannot deny it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this one out. Which is this one? All right, we'll leave that one for the end because that looks like it's funny. Okay, let's go ahead and set this one. We're going to watch it right now. Here we go.
Live now from Fox, I'm your host, Mike Pace. Always great to be with you. Friday edition continues to carry on. And tonight we are getting new information on a major raid that happened in Georgia.
That's crazy.
To immigration. Take a look here from ATF Atlanta putting this out today. ATF Atlanta joined HSI, FBI, DEA, ICE, GSP, and other agencies in a major immigration enforcement operation at the Hyundai mega site battery plant in Bryan County, Georgia, leading to the apprehension of 450 unlawful aliens, emphasizing our commitment to community safety, and then hashtag ATF. So for more on this, let's showcase Fox News' Connor Hansen with a breakdown of this major bust.
Federal agents arrested 475 workers after raiding a sprawling Hyundai EV battery factory under construction in Georgia. Most of them are South Koreans who were subcontractors in the country illegally, according to investigators.
Together, we are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
Those arrested were handed over to ICE and brought to a detention center. Hyundai says none of them were direct employees. It's the largest raid so far as the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement.
This has been a multi-month criminal investigation where we have developed evidence, conducted interviews, gathered documents, and presented that evidence to the court in order to obtain a judicial search warrant.
The recently opened 2,000-acre campus is one of the largest economic projects in Georgia history. South Korean leaders were not happy with the news. Just over a week ago, its president visited the White House and pledged to invest billions of dollars in the U.S., including for battery manufacturing.
In Seoul, we also conveyed our concerns and regret through the U.S. Embassy today, urging special attention to ensure that the legitimate rights and interests of our citizens are not violated.
Governor Brian Kemp says Georgia National Guard troops will support ICE in Georgia, and hundreds will go to Washington, D.C. to help with federal crime-fighting efforts. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Right, Connor, thanks so much for that update. And now we want to showcase the full news conference from Georgia officials and federal officials talking about this bust.
We have
That's crazy.
Alvarez, the field office director with the United States Customs and Border Patrol. Brad Snyder, the resident special agent in charge with the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Joseph Waller, the resident in charge with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Brian Viella, with the assistant special agent in charge with the Drug Enforcement Administrations. And then we have Brett Hall, United States Marshal's Office with the Southern District of Georgia. First, I want to extend my sincere appreciation to the agencies that played a critical role in this investigation. This effort was led by Homeland and Security Investigations with Steve Schrank at the helm. Also with the vital assistance from the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Removal Operations, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Internal Revenue Service, Criminal Investigations, the United States Department of Labor, the Office of the Inspector General, the United States Marshal Service, the Georgia State Patrol, and Assistant United States Attorneys Tanya Groover, Ryan Bondura, Kelsey Scanlon, and Greg Galuli. This outcome is the direct result of their hard work and commitment. Such an undertaking can only be accomplished through combined efforts, resources, and dedication of these agencies working together with a shared goal. The Department of Justice mission is to reduce illegal employment and prevent employers from gaining an unfair advantage by hiring unauthorized workers and exploiting those workers. This is an ongoing investigation, and we are limited as to what we can discuss. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Schrank to give more information on the matter. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Meg. Good morning, and thank you all for coming. My name is Stephen Schrank. I'm the Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations for the states of Georgia and Alabama. Yesterday, Homeland Security Investigations, in coordination with our law enforcement partners, executed a judicial search warrant as part of an ongoing criminal investigation into allegations of unlawful employment practices and serious federal crimes. This operation underscores our commitment to protecting jobs for Georgians and Americans, ensuring a level playing field for businesses that comply with the law, safeguarding the integrity of our economy, and protecting workers from exploitation. The investigation resulted in the arrest of 475 individuals and is focused on ensuring accountability for those who violate the law and uphold the rule of law. Complex cases like this require strong collaboration and extensive investigative efforts. We extend our gratitude to ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, the United States Department of Labor, Office of Inspector General, FBI, DEA, Customs and Border Protection, ATF, IRS, U.S. Marshals, and the Georgia State Patrol for their invaluable support. Each agency contributed specialized experience that was critical to the success of this lengthy operation. Together, we are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable. I'd like to add that this was not an immigration operation where agents went into the premises, rounded up folks, and put them on buses. This has been a multi-month criminal investigation where we have developed evidence, conducted interviews, gathered documents, and presented that evidence to the court in order to obtain a judicial search warrant. Yesterday, we executed that search warrant and gathered additional evidence that will support this investigation. There are no criminal charges being announced today, but this is an ongoing matter. While we were on the premises, we did encounter many hundreds of individuals.
Yeah, over 400.
Of those, as I've previously mentioned, 475 were illegally present in the United States, or in violation of their presence in the United States, working unlawfully, who have entered through a variety of different means into the United States. Some that illegally crossed the border into the United States, some that came in through visa waiver and were prohibited from working, some that had visas and overstayed their visas. And each individual was questioned on their status, their documents were checked, their backgrounds were checked, and ultimately through coordination of our experts and attorneys in the background, those that were found to be illegally present were then detained and turned over to ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations custody. But this is all in furtherance of the ongoing investigation where we are looking at employment practices. We made seizures yesterday as part of that to gather additional evidence and conducted interviews and are continuing this ongoing investigation. We will take some limited questions at this time.
Of the 475, how many were Korean nationals? The Korean media are reporting many as 300.
There was a majority of Korean nationals from the 475. I don't have the exact nationality breakdown for you, but we can likely get that after the fact.
Were these employees of HLGA Battery? Were they employees of construction contractors that were doing construction?
475.
As we had determined through our investigation in advance and certainly experienced yesterday,
That's a lot.
there was a network of subcontractors and subcontractors for the subcontractors there. So the employees worked for a variety of different companies that were on the site.
Boy.
It was not just the parent company, but
This is
also the
gonna be
subcontractors, and we're unveiling that.
This is the
that whole
beginning of
network.
a snowball effect.
Company, is that right? Battery, HLGA?
Yeah, we continue to work on the investigation of who exactly worked for what companies.
Where are these 475 people now?
They are in the custody of ICE enforcement and removal operations.
Where?
Most
Wow.
were brought to the Folkston D-Ray facility last night, and they will be moved based on their individual circumstances beyond that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, man.
WTOC has been investigating and reporting on the presence of undocumented workers on the site for about a year now. And so this has kind of been something that's been known to some extent in the local community. What is it that prompted Homeland Security investigations to look into this?
Yeah, we are aware and we have monitored that reporting as well. We have also received many leads from community members, from prior workers. We have conducted many arrests through the immigration operations throughout the state of Georgia that have identified other employees that, when encountered, informed us that they worked there. We have interviewed folks and we have developed evidence over the course of many months in support of the investigation.
What are some potential consequences that the company could face, or is that something you can speak to right now?
I don't want to speculate on ultimate. This is an ongoing investigation. No charges have been filed. So that means that no wrongdoing is being accused at this time.
Yes, ma'am. I had a question. Was anyone injured during the process? Did anyone die during the process of this raid?
There were no substantial uses of force. There were no injuries reported, other than one individual was overheating a little bit and was treated on scene. And one agent suffered a minor laceration while conducting it, but no significant injuries.
Okay, and then during the process, you said this was a multi-month process. Can you kind of, I guess, give a how many months did it take? I guess is my question.
This has been ongoing throughout this year.
So can we say January?
I don't have the exact start date of the investigation.
How does this operation compare to other operations in the state of Georgia and across the nation? Was this one of the largest ones, or can you kind of give us an idea of how big this was?
This, in fact, was the largest single site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
That's crazy.
Any last question?
Across the country, yes.
Last question? Yeah, did HLGA Battery, did they use E-Verify in their employment practices?
I don't want to answer for them.
One quick one.
Is there any evidence of labor trafficking at this point?
That is something that is always part of our investigations when we're doing employment investigations. As I've indicated, there have been no charges filing, but it is certainly something that we will be looking for.
Okay, thank you, folks. Appreciate it. We can handle any follow-ons after the fact. Okay. Thanks, sir. Ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay,
And
that's
just takes
just
a look at
crazy.
some of the video that
and let you know right now, 475 people. Think about that number. 475 people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people in a facility, a Hyundai facility, and they're all going to be deported. They're going to be processed. Some may be let loose. Some, or a lot of them, are going to be like being deported. It's crazy because they get you at this facility, you're working, and then whatever you have in your home, all the cars that are going to be there left behind. Remember, that's 475 people. That could be a lot of cars there that could be in the parking lot. And not only that, but their homes and where they're staying at. And, they don't pay their rent, all their shit's going to be gone. And whatever you have in there, it's theirs. And whoever's the owner could take advantage of that. And that's just really, wow. But they're here illegally. Sorry. If you're here illegally, you better just self-deport, because it'll be better off. Let's check out some more news here. Give me 1 second to put the volume on this. I don't know why it was low. Go ahead and get this here. Hold on. Let me check here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's watch this one.
5 o'clock, a messy situation on I-95 in Westbrook.
Holy
Look at
smoke.
all of that plywood that's on the highway there. And that is just one of the major traffic issues today. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Erin Connolly. The crash has shut down parts of 95 for hours. They have now reopened just in time for the Friday rush hour. Luke Hydash is your reporter live in Westbrook tonight with a look at the serious crashes that really happened pretty close to each other, Luke.
Aaron, all just within a few miles of each other on both sides of the highway here. A welcome sight tonight in Westbrook. At least one lane of both sides of the highway are getting by here. We're in Westbrook, right near the Westbrook Mall, as well as the car dealerships, if you know this area. And again, traffic getting by, that's something people around here have been waiting for all day. A mess on 95 Friday. A truck loses the plywood it was carrying.
Oh my God.
Cars damaged. The highway shut down for hours right by the 145 bridge, which DOT is inspecting. There's some structural damage. A short ways away on 95 South, a very serious crash involving a tractor trailer and a large truck, both towed from the scene. Route 1 and other side roads full of traffic all day, everyone being detoured away from the highway.
Just nonstop. I mean, there's an incident up the road here. I heard about the plywood truck or something as well that happened earlier. It's just kind of been chaotic.
State police tell us that between all of this, serious injuries were reported. We are expecting another update on the condition of those victims later on tonight. The reporter live in Westbrook, Luke Hydash, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Luke, thank you very much. Some breaking.
So I believe 2 people died in the truck accident. At least 2 people are dead, and that's wild. Let's go on and continue. I got 2 more to watch, and actually 3 with Tyson. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
Shut, 4 inspections, dozens of roaches, and an owner demanding privacy.
But you deserve to know what an inspector found inside. Here's Jeff Wines here with tonight's Dirty Dining Report.
Nobody
It's
wants
an invasion of privacy, sir. Please
Nobody
leave.
wants to talk to us about the roach
Nobody
issue?
wants to speak about it. It's an invasion of privacy. Please leave.
There is nothing private about being ordered shut by the state. In fact, this big orange closed sticker an inspector plastered on the front door has been up for almost 2 weeks. You were shut down for roaches, and you've been shut down for like 10 days.
No, but we finished.
It's TJ's Restaurant and Bakery. It sits in the Golden Glades area at 15327 Northwest 7th Avenue. This place first ordered shut back on August 20th after inspectors found roaches basically everywhere, crawling on prep tables, mixers, shelves with seasoning, dead roaches in the kitchen, the lobby area, a bathroom, and coolers. In fact, inspectors had to come back 3 more times.
It's an invasion of privacy.
Privacy? Sorry, not when roaches are running the kitchen and you're serving food to the public. Our next stop is Pompano Beach. Chef D's at 3919 North Federal Highway. 19 violations found in this place last week. 19 violations, roaches in several places?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to go there now.
That's, of course, the standard answer. And yes, we know you did. But why did it take an inspection and shutdown to make it happen? It's unacceptable, right?
Yeah, it's not going, but we're fixing the problem now.
Nearly 30 live and dead roaches were found crawling under a cooler, a sink, a dishwasher, a prep table. An employee was spotted eating right out of a saucepan. What do you say to customers? How did it get that way? You clean every night?
Yes, we clean every night, but it happens.
Can we come look around? Is it clean?
No, because we have a mess right now.
You have a mess right now. Our final stop takes us to Dania Beach into Lubin's Restaurant and Bakery. The address here, 1466 West Dixie Highway. Wanted to talk to you about the inspection.
I don't know. I don't speak English.
She says she doesn't speak English and then disappears behind a kitchen door to make a phone call. This place ordered to stop serving all food items. Records show inspectors have been here 4 times in the past month. Rodent droppings spotted on the floor, inside a mop sink, under bakery tables, behind equipment and a bread slicer. Droppings were seen inside a metal bowl and inside a mixer bowl. All of a sudden, that co-owner who didn't speak English apparently does.
We close.
I know you're closed. That's why I'm here to ask you what happened.
The boss is not there.
When will the boss be here?
1.
At 1 o'clock, no one was here. All the places ordered shut, allowed to reopen following an ordered cleanup and then a reinspection. Jeff Weiss here, Local 10 News.
That's
For a list
crazy.
of the restaurants ordered shut. You can
And
scan
if
the
they,
QR
if
code
they're
on
gonna
your
shut them
screen.
down,
It'll
they
take
gotta
you straight
shut
to
them
the Dirty
down.
Dining
They
section
can't
of our
just
website.
do that. Like, no, if you're gonna shut them down for a long period of time and make sure they have this under control. You can't just like, oh yeah, shut them down, have them clean up, let the inspector come, look around. Okay, it looks passable. Okay, we'll let you open up again, and then like they just don't learn from like, and they had multiple violations. It's not like just they had like one violation. No, you had one place that had 19 violations. That's fucking crazy, man. Be careful where you go and eat, and just make sure the place that you go eat is safe to eat. Okay, there's nothing better and safer than eating at home. Trust me on that. Just go ahead and watch this one. I think this one's. Let's check it out. I haven't. Let's see what's going on here.
She's in her car belting out a song.
Baby, one more time.
Yep, it's the Britney Spears classic,
Oh
Hit Me Baby
no!
One More Time.
Not the baby.
But watch what happens next.
What the hell is she doing? Oh shit! She
Here it
crashed.
is in slow-mo. Check out the panicked look on her face
Oh,
as
no.
she loses control of her car. The camera is rolling the entire
Oh.
time, recording every second as the accident unfolds.
Oh.
She ends up like this, with the car flipped on its side.
It was just my own little personal concert, and it just got interrupted.
21-year-old nursing student Caitlin McCutcheon tells Inside Edition she was singing away on her way to her grandparents' house in Pennsylvania when her car skidded on some gravel.
I tried to correct it, and I ended up going up the side of a hill and rolling. If the hill wasn't there, I think I would have saved it, but I'm not sure. I did walk away with a concussion. I had a bunch of bruises all over my legs, but I was okay in the end.
As for recording herself singing in the car,
I won't do it anymore, obviously.
lesson learned: don't sing and drive.
Yo, she's gonna be going famous. She's definitely gonna be famous. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if Britney Spears goes and buy her a car. I mean, that would be the most awesomest thing to do, you know, because she was singing a Britney Spears song, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time," and then she crashes, and really crashes hard. So yeah, it's that's funny. Baby, hit me one more time. I think Britney Spears should buy her a car, you know, and say, listen, I saw you singing my song. You know, give her a call, you know, fucking, if Britney's cool and shit, this is great positive PR. Great positive PR is awesome, right? If he, you know, if she goes and Britney goes and sees this video and has a little chuckle at it, but also concerned, Britney could reach out and say, hey, it's Britney, bitch. I saw your video. I chuckled, but I want to check up on you. And I saw you were singing my song. And thank you for that. That now is I'm getting views again for Hit Me Baby One More Time. I want to do something special and something cool for you. I want to buy you a new car, you know, and that would be such an awesome story if Britney would step up and be like, yeah, let me just, that's to Brittany, that's like, that's nothing. You know, what, a couple of thousands, it could be what, a new car, anywhere $25,000. For Brittany, that's a purse. That's a purse that she gets on Rodeo Drive, like on one day shopping. She ends spending that on a purse. So I'm sure she could hook that girl up with a nice car, and and say like, keep jamming to my music. You know what I mean? That would be so good PR. I don't know why the PR people are not telling this to Brittany. Like, if I was Brittany's, like, in her team, I'm like, bitch, buy that girl a car and thank her, and like, get that positive feedback, get that positive energy. Oh my goodness. But Brittany ain't gonna do it, because Brittany's, I don't know, she's just a drugs has got into her, a lot of psychedelics, a lot of mushrooms, a lot of like experimental shit this girl's been through, and she's still going through a lot of shit, and that's another mess. That is just another mess. And we're not even gonna start that, because I'm getting tired, and I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. So we're gonna go ahead and watch the last show of the night, and that's our good friend of the show, Tyson De La Cruz. So let me set it up here real quick, and we're gonna watch it together. Here we go. Here's Tyson.
New tonight calls for Milwaukee police to testify in front of Milwaukee's Common Council after this street takeovers causing chaos this weekend.
America, we're witnessing the collapse of another Democrat-run city in real time, and the mayor is more concerned about protecting his political image than protecting his citizens. The Milwaukee Police Association president is begging for National Guard assistance because his officers are overwhelmed and understaffed. But Mayor Cavalier Johnson is refusing help, calling it unneeded and inappropriate. But here's what's going to make you furious. Milwaukee is facing a $46.7 million budget deficit because their COVID relief money is running out. And instead of admitting they mismanage funds, they're letting their city burn while officers flee to other departments.
Wow. That's crazy.
The
It's
union
close to
representing the
Chicago.
largest police agency in Wisconsin welcomes the deployment of the National Guard in Milwaukee.
The developments come as President Donald Trump this afternoon promised to send troops into Chicago.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story perfectly illustrates the Democrat playbook. Create a crisis through mismanagement, refuse help when offered, then blame everyone else when the city falls apart. Let me break down exactly what's happening in Milwaukee, because this represents a complete breakdown of law and order in another Democrat stronghold. Milwaukee Police Association President Alex Aleja is publicly supporting National Guard deployment, saying we don't have the resources and I welcome it when asked about federal assistance.
At this point, though, you would welcome National Guard here in Milwaukee?
I would. Alex Ayala, president of the Milwaukee Police Union, with us Tuesday, saying he's planning to reach out to President Trump in the coming days to request and welcome National Guard help.
Aleja is planning to reach out to President Trump directly to request National Guard assistance, citing weekend street takeovers, officer shortages, and an ongoing contract dispute with the city. He's not asking lightly. This is a desperate plea for law enforcement that's been pushed to its breaking point.
You have all these incidents that are out of control. We don't have the staffing for it. I'm sure that the National Guard would do a great job in helping us out.
What would they do, ideally?
You can put up some security checkpoints. You have them walking around. They're visible.
This isn't about martial law. This is about having enough personnel to maintain basic public safety when the police department is critically understaffed. But Mayor Cavalier Chevy Johnson is refusing the help. And the reasons will expose the political grift that's more important to him than public safety. This is what Johnson told reporters.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson with us this afternoon.
I did see the MPA president saying that he would welcome the National Guard to Milwaukee, which I thought was pretty peculiar and pretty infuriating at the same time. Why do I say that?
Johnson's explanation reveals his backwards priorities.
I say because in my office just a few months ago, he came and he sat down and he was with a bunch of folks and he was asking me, and they were asking me what we could do in order to make sure that ICE and immigration were not clamping down on people at Mexican fiestas.
Are you kidding me? The mayor is more upset about ICE enforcement at festivals than he is about his own police officers begging for help with out-of-control street violence. This perfectly illustrates Democrat priorities: protect illegal immigrants, but let American citizens suffer from the crime. The crisis that prompted the National Guard request isn't theoretical. It's happening every single weekend. Milwaukee experienced 15 street takeovers in a single weekend, with dramatic videos showing crowds, cars, and even fire in the streets. Look familiar?
Milwaukee streets being flooded by reckless and unruly drivers. These are called street takeovers, and the city's Common Council is addressing all of the chaos tonight. And this is why we told you Milwaukee police arrested 3 people over the weekend, towed 6 cars, and cited several others.
Police arrested only 3 people, towed 6 cars, and cited several others across 17 different locations. Think about that ratio. 15 street takeovers across 17 locations, and they could only arrest 3 people. This shows you how overwhelmed the police department really is.
With our big story, another night of I should say, several street takeovers zigzagging throughout Milwaukee overnight.
Social media video shows multiple scenes involving crowds, cars, even fire.
Witnesses describe the scenes that sound like war zones.
Video circulating on social media shows one of the latest street takeovers swerving around downtown Milwaukee.
Yeah, it was just wild.
Wild enough to startle Mary Wilson and her family out of a deep sleep.
Definitely was so insanely loud.
The reason Milwaukee police need National Guard assistance isn't complicated. They're critically understaffed because officers are fleeing to other departments. The Milwaukee Police Department is short about 150 officers, and it's getting worse every single month.
Investigating staffing shortages downtown.
Fox 6 uncovered only a few officers were working downtown one night this week.
Fox 6 uncovered only 3 officers were scheduled overnight from Sunday to Monday in District 1, which covers the busiest downtown area. A whistleblower sent them a scheduling document showing this was critically understaffed. MPD calls this contrary to staffing level directives and expectations. No crap.
MPD District 1 covers the busy downtown area, but MPD's scheduling document shows only 3 officers scheduled overnight from Sunday to Monday. A whistleblower sent Fox 6 that document, what's called the lineup.
The union president explains why officers are leaving. Everybody's getting a raise. Why can't my officers get a raise? Why are they not worthy enough to get a raise, he says. And we're the ones getting shot at and killed in the line of duty. Now let me explain the real reason Milwaukee is in crisis. They use temporary C-19 relief funds to create permanent spending commitments. And now the money is running out. Milwaukee County is facing a $46.7 million budget deficit for 2026. Largely because federal stimulus funds that propped up their budget are expiring.
Authority of the city of Milwaukee says prior leadership misused millions of dollars of federal funds. That money was intended to provide rent assistance. Instead, Hackham says the agency used it to pay staff, and now they're at risk of going bankrupt.
This is the same pattern we've seen across Democrat-run cities. They use one-time federal C-19 money to expand government programs and hire more bureaucrats. But when the federal money runs out, they can't afford to maintain these programs with local tax revenue. Milwaukee's Housing Authority is a perfect example of this. They misused $2.8 million in federal funds that was intended for rent assistance and used it to pay staff instead. And now they're at risk of bankruptcy and had to lay off 24 employees.
Stephanie Quirk is here in studio with how they're now trying to clean up this mess, Steph.
Yeah, Ben, Hackham leader says that they say this issue dates back to 2019, and now the agency must pay back $2.8 million or risk bankruptcy in as little as 45 days.
Milwaukee's crisis follows the exact same pattern we've seen in every Democrat-run city. Use temporary federal funds to expand government, refuse to make tough budget decisions, blame everyone else when the money runs out, and reject help when it's offered because it makes them look bad politically. The city initially faced an $87 million budget gap in 2025 as ARPA funds expired, but they used accounting tricks and additional state aid to temporarily patch the problem. Now they're facing an even bigger crisis in 2026 when all the federal money is completely gone.
We will be sure from this point forward that transparency will be the rule of order.
It was only a few months ago that Brad Leak joined the finance team for Milwaukee's Housing Authority.
On some recent financial developments that have come to light.
State law now requires Milwaukee to increase police and fire staffing through Act 12, but they don't have the money to pay it because they wasted their federal relief funds on bureaucrat bloat instead of essential services. Meanwhile, officers are leaving the department that actually pays competitive wages. Milwaukee advertises officer pay at $63,000 to $84,000 annually, while surrounding suburbs like Whitefish Bay and Shorewood offer a starting pay that's $5,000 to $13,000 higher. Mayor Johnson's refusal to accept National Guard assistance isn't about public safety, it's about political image. Accepting help would be admitting that his administration has failed to maintain basic law and order. It would be acknowledging that Democrat policies have created a crisis that requires federal intervention.
So I don't understand why he's interested in bringing in federal troops now, bringing in the federal government now, when he was against it just before.
Even Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald said the National Guard troops in Milwaukee are not needed, showing this isn't just partisan politics. But when your own police officers are saying they need help, maybe politicians should listen to the people actually dealing with the crisis.
The governor today also pushed back at any talk of National Guard troops.
Deanna this morning saying, quote, "We can handle this ourselves" in the state of the Wisconsin. Meantime, Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald also saying Sunday on Upfront, National Guard troops in Milwaukee are not needed.
America, Milwaukee's crisis exposes a fundamental problem with Democrat governance. When your own police officers are begging for help because they're overwhelmed and understaffed, the appropriate response is to get them help, not worry about political image. Milwaukee used temporary C-19 relief funds to artificially prop up their budget and expand government programs they couldn't afford long term. Now that the federal money is running out, they're facing massive deficits that can't manage basic public safety. Instead of admitting their mismanagement, they're rejecting help and letting the city get deteriorated. The police union president is right. If officers are getting shot at and killed in the line of duty while being understaffed and underpaid, they deserve support. The fact that surrounding suburbs can afford better pay shows Milwaukee's budget priorities are completely backwards. This is the same grift we've seen in every Democrat city. Expand government with temporary federal funds, refuse to make tough decisions when the money runs out, blame everyone else for the crisis, and prioritize political image over public safety. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Tyson. That was an awesome reporting there. That was really good. Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Wisconsin, it's a wild. Anything closest to Chicago, remember, you're gonna get that residue from Chicago going up to Milwaukee, which is not a long drive. And Milwaukee, the police are like, yeah, we need help. You know, we're short 150 police officers. You know, it's 150. Okay, it's 150. Compare that to like 475 illegal that they just got rid of today at Hyundai. That's crazy. That's a lot of people. 450 to 475. That's wild. But for a police force, 150 officers, that's a small army. That's a lot of police that they're down. They just don't have the money in the budget for the police officers neither. They're in a big time deficit and it's mismanaged. You know, the Democrats don't know how to run a budget, man. They don't know how to, they don't know financing. They don't know how to run budgets. They know how to spend money. That's for damn sure. They can spend, but they don't like paying. They don't like paying back. And that's not good. That's not right. You know, what you spend, you pay back. And if you put it on a credit card, just pay the motherfucking credit card because that's shit that you purchase for yourself. You know, and just make sure you pay it down and don't get into crazy debt. You know, debt is okay, but crazy debt is not. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to be signing off here because I am getting tired. I want you guys to have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And we'll do this again tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'll come on. Maybe I'll come on early. And then I'm going to come on probably for the rain. because it's gonna pour. It's going to pour, and I hope my power doesn't go out. I would like to do some readings while it's pouring rain out here, and all the energy that's gonna be here in this building is just gonna be wild. But and the fact that I got a text warning from the light company about the storms, I've already been getting like a lot of notifications for tomorrow and so forth. I'm like, okay, let it come. I've handled thunderstorms before, especially in Florida. Florida thunderstorms are crazy. Connecticut is just, they're not used to it, so they kind of freak out. So with that said, I'm going to bed. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.